Can I have his introduction? I don't have it. So I just say Dr. Ravindra Singh, ICMR, New Delhi.
Yes.
Haven't got any.
I think that is sufficient.
That itself is a motivation. Okay.
Yeah. Very good evening to all of you. And I can see a lot of people here in the evening. And this shows that some motivation is still left among all of you. I congratulate you because after taking lunch, it becomes very difficult, or you become demotivated to listen to anything. And one more thing, I would like to congratulate all the older persons here in this Congress on the occasion of World Elders Day, and congratulate Dr. V.P. Rao and his team for doing excellent work which they have done. Actually, I just from the very first day I told him that they have done commendable work to bring together all the people, stalwarts from India who has worked in the field of aging. So I don't know how they got my name, and I was surprised to find out my name. As far as my topic is concerned, if we go by the motivation in older persons, it's really very tough. Because if we go by the childhood, children, the young and the middle-aged or adults, they have a lot of things to be motivated. With the age, with the advancing age, some of these motivations, they are vanished. So this topic becomes more important because we have to give external support to our senior citizens. This is an inferred process within an animal or an individual that causes that organism to move towards the goal. Goal may be anything. It is not just attaining maybe wealth, money, position, house, whatever. So it is required to maintain optimal. In the older person, it is physical health, optimal physical health, independence and autonomy. So these are some of the motivations which are still important for the older persons. If we go by the history of motivation, if we compare it just like now apps, you can see it on the mobile phones. Every day it changes. Every day you will get a message that your app needs upgradation. So to begin with, motivation started long back, when it was said that survival is the only motivation among the human beings. Some of the theories which were proposed by Darwin and other people, it talked about a lot of things. Why you are motivated? Is it because because the fittest will survive? But later on, the psychologists, they came with different theories saying that okay, it's not only survival, it is what you get and what you lose. So rewards and punishments are other things which are there to motivate the human beings. With the more advanced literature and knowledge and our thinking, it was proposed that it's not only rewards and punishments, because some of the psychologists found out some problems with them, this theory. They said that it is intrinsic and extrinsic factors. Some of the factors, they are there in the human beings, they dwell from within. You don't know what is the origin of those intrinsic motivation factors, and some of the extrinsic factor which may be there or which may come from within. So with the disadvantages of the theories, like this is rewards and punishment, it was rightly called as sticks and carrots. So they say they can extinguish intrinsic motivation. That was disadvantages of those theories, which led on to thinking of the other alternatives. Diminished performance. Once you punish somebody, it will definitely demotivate them. It's not going to motivate them. Crush creativity. Somebody, if you isolate, definitely the creativity among them will decrease. And will crowd out the good behavior. If there is some good behavior left, you are isolating the person, you are punishing that person, you are making him not to do anything. The old methods had new problems which were seen by our some of the thinkers, like this carrot and sticks behavior can lead on to unethical behavior, create addictions, and foster short-term thinking. They are not going to look into the long-term benefits, what they want to do. So these things that was thought to be like bugs in our computers. Then we came to the new approach, which talked about the autonomy, mastery, and the purpose. So if we want to be independent, we need autonomy. We have to be have to desire to direct our lives the way we want, and it's very, very important in the advancing age. Mastery is to get better. Even if you retire, you find something, you get better, and then you get motivated. Purpose is to find out what you are going to live for. So these three things they led on to the approach, like say autonomy, identifying task, time, when to do, team, if they can find some people, maybe it is their husband-wife team, children team, the family as a team, and technique how they are going to do. These are some of the things which were identified to give them autonomy. Mastery begins with flow, optimal experience when challenges we face are exquisitely matched to our abilities. So mastery is pain, it demands effort, grit. So to become master of something, you have to put efforts, you have to work hard. That's how the motivation can be increased. Purpose. With increasing age, more and more people reckoning them with the mortality. So they think that they are going to get out of this world. So why to do something? But to give the purpose for something better, to make some maybe some task or some project, or maybe society as a whole or social responsibilities will give some of the motivations. I've taken this picture from one of the movies called Up, where that old man had a desire or motivation to go to some place where his wife wanted. It's a nice movie. Motivational cycle. It starts from the need and drives. Motivation is also termed as drive, leading on to instrumental, and instruments or the means and reaching the goal. And then goal give you relief, it give you satisfaction. Self-determination motivation theory, where it is felt that the competency, self-initiativeness, and self-regulation are sufficient to motivate the people. This enhances motivation, while thwarting of this need would impair the motivation. So if we go by the version 3.0 of the motivation, there are 4 parts. It's intrinsic, and extrinsic has 2 parts: self-determined extrinsic, non-self-determined determined extrinsic, and motivation. Intrinsic is when intrinsically motivated behaviors, to engage for pleasure and satisfaction. There is no need to push any external motivators. It is from within. So you are motivated from within. It is not that somebody else is going to motivate somebody. Some people you will find they are always happy-go-lucky people because they have more of the intrinsic motivation within them. Extrinsic, when performed to receive or avoid something, once activity is terminated. They say the motivation among most of the people, it is from two things: avoidance of pains and getting pleasure. So this may be self-determined or non-self-determined. So self-determined extrinsic factors or motivation is when behavior by individual is valued and perceived as being chosen by oneself. Maybe some people, they have read something long back, maybe 2 years, 3 years, or few months back or few days back, and suddenly they get motivated. One day morning they find that suddenly they get this bulb kind of thinking, and then they start doing something. So it is called as self-determined extrinsic motivation. Non-self-determined extrinsic motivation is when a behavior is regulated externally, usually through awards or some constraints. When we give the award to the people that you want to do this thing or you should do this thing, you'll get this thing. So if you perform this, if you complete this project, you'll get promoted or you'll get better salary. So people get benefited. But in the old age, this become a major problem. What kind of extrinsic, non-self-determined extrinsic motivation you are going to give to them? Give some purpose. I'm giving some example later on in this presentation. A motivation is perceived lack of contingency between their behavior and outcomes. Experience of incompetency and lack of control. This becomes very, very crucial things because they feel they can't do anything. They are incompetent. Now they have physically they are less competent enough. So it becomes a motivation. No sense of purpose, no expectations, possibility of change of course of action. Anytime they would like to change their mind. This is taxonomy of motivation. A motivation and intrinsic or extrinsic. I don't want to go into detail. Again, some of the this pyramid of Maslow's hierarchy of needs by which we get motivated. These two are higher needs. With the advancing gauge, upper three or the lower motives or needs, they are diminished up to a considerable extent. But the higher, so this is our area where we can work and motivate them. So this becomes self-esteem, gain approval that yes, I've done something, I'm helping my see, we always talk about the people, say 60 to 70 helping 80 to 90. So it becomes motivation for them. And then belonging. You are belonging to some group. I found some people here, they are doing very good work. I've seen some very nice, closely knit group here, which has come from Bangalore itself, Dignity Foundation. So that kind of initiatives we need because they are motivating themselves. You don't need any other external forces to. And similarly, self-actualization, it's the topmost, higher level of needs which don't need any external interventions. Once you think that you want to be somebody perfect, maybe people start writing books at the age of 60, 70 and they feel satisfied, they feel motivated. They have some purpose in their life. They are helping other people. They are creating some groups. And even you might have read about the Jimmy Carter, ex-president of America, who is coming to India every year to help people to make homes. It's motivation. Then there are two types of people which is classified based on their personality. It's called type 1. You might have heard about the different kind of personality. As far as motivation is concerned, it is classified into type 1 and type X personalities. Type 1 are stronger performance, greater health, and higher overall well-being. So they are basically that kind of people. Type X, they are fueled more by extrinsic desires. They seek external rewards to lead to activity. So you have to push them that if you do this thing, you will be rewarded for something. So all these things, if we use practically, can definitely bring out the perceptible changes among the older persons. There are certain, experiments done motivating to adopt type 1 fitness plan. As some of the previous speakers, they have talked about the physical exercises. That is there the most work has been done to motivate older persons, that if they become physically active, they always remain healthy. They can lead a good, independent, healthy life. So that project or that plan said that you set on your own goals for physical health, ditch the treadmill. That means you go out, don't depend on the instruments at home or in gym. Keep the mastery in mind, that you want to master something, maybe some game like basketball or something, or maybe you go to this golf course and start playing that game where you don't need any very vigorous exercises or vigorous physical activity, and then reward them away.
So you have another 2 minutes more.
I'll finish in 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Then there is another model called results only work environment, where some of the people were given some work and they were asked to give the results. No schedule, no office. Some work, only results. So it motivated them because they don't have to, define them into the office and into the time. Some of the corporate methodologies which can be suitable for the older persons, again, autonomy, ratedness, and competence, where you can create, and it's already being done, as I've given the example of the group of people. Somebody called Peter Drucker's knowledge worker, where you empower them with some knowledge. You get together, give them some knowledge, and let them start the initiative on their own. Basic practices for self-motivation. So lead with questions, not answers. Build red flag mechanisms. Some mechanisms which they have made, where if something is being done wrongly, so there you show the red flag. Engage in dialogue and debates, not coercion. Don't force somebody to do something. Conduct autopsies without blame. Find out where something went wrong. So it is the self-motivation theory from some company. So eating balanced diet, exercising, minimizing bad habits, and taking medications are dependent on motivation of older persons. Regulation of medications and physical exercise can bring down the frustration of ill health and further cognitive decline. Cognitive decline has to be managed. Side effect of meditation, of course, brings a motivation. With decreasing cognitive functions, older person need to adopt to the change, and to accept the change is the most difficult thing for them. Losing track of hours and time become very difficult. We can help them by using big calendars, charts, alarms, and big, something like wall clocks, grandpa clocks. Older person expected to balance their diets not only for aesthetic, but they have to do it for different reasons. Maybe cardiac fit diet, kidney fit diets, some other diets. They also help in independence of older persons and not becoming the burden of the family. Not becoming the burden of family is again a good motivation. Persuasion can be used to motivate anyone. Again and again you are telling something. You are not forcing them. So they, please find out the difference between coercion, persuasion and forcing.
I think we are running out of time, sir, because.
Yes, this is the
there
last
are
slide.
two Okay.
Yeah. Educate the person, give the knowledge, as I have already said. Isolation again is a demotivation or a motivation. So if we connect with them, with their families, with their sisters, brothers or peers, is biggest motivation. Learn what they enjoyed when they were young. And if they tell you something, you can, strengthen that. Social media is a big force which can connect all of them and motivate them. Thank you very much.
Sorry for the interruption, but that was a very lovely presentation, Doctor.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Let's give Mr. Singh a big round of Dr. Singh a big round of applause for that lovely presentation. And may I request Dr. Arora to kindly honor him with a token of our appreciation, please. We'd also request the presence of
Not this
Dr.
one,
Mala Kapoor Shankar Das
He's not talking?
on stage. Thank you so much for your presentation, ma'am.
He's not going to talk?